So I had no plan to record this, but then I realized it might be beneficial to somebody. This pump right here is out of a hot tub, and it is, I'm trying to move it. We turned the hot tub off for a few years. Didn't need to waste the electricity, weren't really using it, so yeah. But what happened with the motor is it kind of corroded, and as I was going to restart the thing, I realized it seized up. More so, as I was sticking my finger, power was off, I was sticking my finger in here just to kind of like get it to rotate to see, and the shaft kept falling apart in my hands. True story. If you see that, that's like, I don't know, a quarter of what the shaft should be. So even if it got to spinning, could break and cause other issues. So what I did is, once I saw that, I said, oh, let me see if I can get a replacement. So I found this one on Amazon. It was the cheapest one I could find because I'm just trying to get this thing working, and if I can't get it working, the hot tub's going away, okay? It's an older hot tub. It's one of those regret purchases that I had a while back. So anyway, motor-wise, so I'm looking at this. This motor came in this way. It had this on it. Again, I wasn't planning on recording this. So this was on here, like some, I don't know. Listen, okay, it was on here. It was about like that. There you go. It was like that. See the issue here? This outlet, yes, I believe that's the outlet. This outlet points straight up. This one points out to the side. And if you see the plumbing in the hot tub, which I'll show you at some point, but it comes directly into this style. Everything else looks about the same, like very much so. I thought I was going to have to, I started taking the pigtail off of this one, but then when I opened the box in this one, it had the same exact pinouts and colored wires and stuff. So pretty common for pool filters and pool spas to have this. But I have this issue with this not being positioned the right way. So what I thought is, okay, well, let me take apart the old one, figure out how to fix that on the old one, so if I mess something up, who cares, it's already broken. So I took out all these little screws off the front cover, and I popped this off, and I looked in here, and I'll show you. There's nothing here, and it makes sense if you think about it. This is where the water goes, and you don't want hardware in here, you want it to be plastic, so it makes perfect sense. But still, I was just doing some digging. So, no access, because I see these four extensions here with the pump. This is just the motor. This goes on, this pumps the water. See, this thing spins, and it's locked up. You can tell it's locked up. This is the one that's seized, but this will rotate, and it'll suck in water from here and shoot it out this way. Pretty cool. So I'm like, what the heck? There's no way to get to this. Well, then I went, well, I wonder. There are these that line up. Oh, wait, you can't see. There are these bolts that seem to line up with that. Are they that long? Yep, they're that long. So you take these out of the back, that'll disconnect this down here, and I should be able to just spin it. Now there's one of these that is giving me fits. So I'm going to try to get that off. Again, I know this, and I could go right over to the new one and try it there, but I want to go through the whole process on this one. I want to switch this one to be vertical. So I want to get this out, rotate it, put it together just so I'm using this as my test, right? Make sure I feel comfortable before I go to the brand new one that I bought and rotate that. So I'm going to go grab more of a persuader because my impact and that nut or that bolt not working. So let me grab something there, try to get that off. I'll rotate this and I'll be back. Well, so when I go on this with one of these here thingamajigs, it just has a weird, like, it's not gonna turn. It's like the whole thing's, it's stuck on that end, and this whole shaft seems to be twisting. So it is not breaking loose. And I am gonna just, because this thing's all seized up anyway, I was gonna try to do it on this and rotate it, but pretty much know that this housing stays closed. These are just bolts that connected in, so should be one of those deals, shouldn't be a problem. On this one, obviously this fits flatter because this is off, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it on the new one, and hopefully it does what it needs to do. Should be able to clock this, turn it 90 degrees. Yep, look at that. Maybe. Well, don't be doing anything stupid. There we go. Okay, there's just a little bit of a, I got it. A little bit of a lip there you gotta get past. So that is 90 degrees. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can't get this started. Yep. These things. This pump came with these connectors, which you would need if you didn't already have something there. You'd have to plumb this in, but in the hot tub these are already there in that. So I'm going to use these and put those in there like that to help seal that. And I'm going to move over to there because really this is ready to go right now. Plug it in, connect it up. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see that. I'll see if I can. But I want to also make sure, yep, this thing still turns freely, no problem. So good. So I'm going to go place this in there and see what happens. So I want to do that. I want to have that one. Okay. It's really, yeah, meant to go here. No, it's not. Even if I had help, which I never do, ever, wouldn't be able to fit in here anyway. Okay. Now, make sure that's clean. Get this one on here. Okay. See if we should be able to line it up. That one started. I think it started. Okay. open that up. Gate valve. Make sure this is okay. We're just gonna put that up for now. Alright, filling the strainer, which is right here. Which should be, yeah, what goes here. So that comes in, this goes over and down. So that's coming in, over and down. Okay. Doesn't make any sense actually. That's okay. And I'll go ahead and open up this one too. I don't see leaks yet. Let's go ahead and put that down. Keep going. And these two, I'm going to go ahead and just I have to set this up. Where's that at? Oh, nice and easy to get to. Great. Grand. Which way's the hole? The hole goes that way. Right here. Of course, I dropped it. Perfect. Oh. There you go. That's in. That always seems to be the sound of success. I don't see any leaks. Oh, there was one. I will say that, didn't I? No leaks where I was at. There's a leak right here. So I'll double check those. Tighten this up a little bit. Yeah, it sounds fine. I'm going to go ahead and put that other screw in. While I know that there's no leaks to anything. Kind of keep it there. And yeah, that's the first time I've heard that sound in multiple years actually. And I think that other pump was starting to go a lot sooner because I would turn it on and it would just say flow, 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 and it would take forever. This one took about, I don't know, a minute and a half, and then it was flowing like it is now. So I think that other one is going for a while. Anyway, I will put that screw in, fix that leak, and then maybe we have a working hot tub for a couple $100. Alright, leak on. Yeah, I should clean that out, but whatever. It'll actually make it easier to see the leaks if you have them. There. Hopefully the heater still works. That's the next thing. So I have flowing water. That doesn't mean that the heater works, but I had to have flowing water to see if the heater worked. Anyway, this part's done. Replace the motor. This hot tub video is becoming longer and longer, but I'm going to capture everything in one video. So I have this going on. I do remember this vaguely. There's a leak somewhere. I don't know where. I was about to take off the sides. Looks like there's screws there. Look at all that stuff. And then I found this. at Amazon, or on Amazon I should say. Looked at it and it says made in the USA and everything. Pretty cool. Anyway, it's meant for this kind of scenario. So instead of doing all that work and all that other stuff, I'm going to go ahead and put this in according to the recommendations and then see if that stops the leak. Definitely noticeable. Water was going down quite a bit. Not horrible. Like if I need to, I could just keep filling this thing up. But obviously that's going to cause other issues. So I'm going to take this stuff off here. Take this off. And then it tells me on the bag, hope that doesn't blow away. It tells me on the container to take the filters out, which makes sense because if it's going to block leaks, it'll clog up the filters that you have. So I have currently, this is very hard to do. It's hard to do with two hands. Anyway, I'm going to take this out. There's a paper filter in there, or a round filter thingamajig. Get that out. I'm going to take this out as well, just so it flows. The directions say that if you know where the leak is, put the stuff close to the leak, which makes sense. I don't know where it is, so it says to put it in the skimmer, and then it should find it. I've used this kind of stuff on cars, like stop leak and radiators, stuff like that. So not my preferred method, but neither is taking all this apart and digging more and more into this 20-year-old-ish hot tub. So just trying to get it working the best that I can. I also have that issue. I'm going to address that separately, same video. It'll be a different scenario where I'm showing that, but I need the water to a certain level for this other thing to work. So I need all these jets covered. So I'm going to do the stop leak thingamajig first, and then tomorrow get into fixing that hole. Alright. Alright, so it's got this thing here on the side. 16 ounces. Now it says, hope I don't drop this dosage amount, 500 gallons, 750, 1000. I honestly don't remember what this one is. I want to say it's 700 gallons? I don't know. It's old. So I'm going to probably just do like 2 ounces because it's going to be easier to tell. It might be 1,000 gallons. I'm not sure. So we're going to go 2 ounces. More is better, right? I don't know. But I just realized I still have to take that out. Crap. I'll be back. Okay, I don't know why this thing does this, but it gets sucked in there. Even when there's no vacuum, I used to think it was because there was jets running. Nothing's running. And there's a bunch of debris. Fine. But I ended up using these channel locks, and these don't have teeth. You can see that, so it wouldn't mar it up. But just dip that down there and grab it from here and pull it up. Again, I don't know. It's like suction there, even though it's not. Anyway, here's the filter. Taking that out of here. Fine. There's a lot of crap. That doesn't seem right. That's probably because potentially that filter's actually breaking apart, because it wasn't that bad before I put the filter in. That was a used filter. I didn't want to buy a new one unless I knew I could get everything else working, but I might have caused more work. Anywho, we're going to take this, drop it, perfect, 16 ounces, so we're going to go to 14 and just kind of put it in here. Okay. That's like pretty good. And, you know, just because on me, we're just going to dab that a little bit more. So, yeah. So that's in there. It says to, it's kind of weird. I actually thought it'd have a color to it, so you can kind of see where it goes. But I don't know if you could see that. It's just kind of in there. So we're going to let that do its thing. Now the instructions say to let it do its thing for 30 minutes. with the jets off. Now this tub turns on and off at like kind of whatever time it wants. I think it's got a, oh, what is it? I think it's got like a 4-hour cycle, and based on when you turn it on. I don't know. I don't remember. Again, old, and I don't even know if I ever really knew what it did. It just turns on certain times to circulate. But to avoid that, I turned it off. I can't see anything. This is off. So I turned the power to the tub off just to make sure this got its 30 minutes, which reminds me I need to set a timer on the phone that I don't have with me. So I'm gonna go set a timer, let this thing set for 30 minutes, and then it says to run the jets for 8 hours, which seems excessive, but I think it just wants to keep circulating the water to make sure it goes to wherever those leaks are. So I'm gonna go ahead and set that timer, come back out here, turn the power back on, turn the jets on, and let this thing do what it needs to do. I'll report back. Okay, 30 minutes is up. I want to go ahead and turn it on. And hopefully it does actually turn on. Come on. It's blinking. I'll give it a minute. I started to fill this earlier, but it was, obviously disrupting the water, and because it said not to run the jets, I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that. I should just let it sit, let it find maybe what's leaking by the movement of the water, which kind of makes sense. So what I'm thinking it does is that when you put it in for the 30 minutes, it kind of the water's still, except for where there's a leak and it's got some flow. So it kind of draws to that flow, starts to do its thing, and then you run the jets to keep the water moving after that to make sure it doesn't go places it shouldn't go. That's my theory, to make sure that it sets up only where it's got the leak. So anyway, I'm going to turn that back on to fill it, to make sure it's got enough liquid. I'm also going to fill it up to here. That is really hot. It is. Okay, I'm going to fill it right up to here, which will also allow me to know what's leaking. So a couple things there. And it hasn't kicked on yet. Let me just, actually, it might not be. Yeah, okay, there you go. So it just didn't see the need to kick on, I guess. Anyway, that's going on. You also see that the water is low. So I'm going to fill it and then let it run and continue to run and see how it goes. So this is my half-hearted way to filter some stuff out. Filling, and get to that line, but I threw the skimmer, figure out a way to just kind of throw it there so you can see some of the stuff that comes up is getting caught. Obviously small stuff's not, but at least that gets the big particles. And I don't know, just thought it's working. So I'll be back, see how it works. Here we go. So, I don't know if you could get in there, see what we got going on in there. So, there's a part that goes in, where's that here? This part, here, let me, hopefully that, you can see that. This part goes in there like this, no, like this, and this turns. This has threads on it, and these threads have a place in there. Oh, I can see it right there. I don't know if you can. I can see it, but I can't get my finger even in there. So it makes it very hard to do. So what I did was I went ahead and fabricated this out of stuff I had laying around. And this, you can also see that I only have one tang to work with. So I have this set up to go like that, catch that tang. Hopefully that's enough to screw it in. So I'm going to go ahead and test this first. Oh wow, that actually worked. It took me about, I don't know, 5 minutes to make this tool. Should have done that a long time ago. Yes. All right, so that's that. Now, this thing has come out multiple times. So I think what I'm going to do is a really bad thing and make it so it stays in there this time with this stuff that I just got. It's PVC used with hot tubs. It is a cement. So hopefully I never have to take this back out, because, you know, that being said, there is what looks like cement here, which I don't know what that's for. So I think I'm going to do is just put a little bit on this to try to help it. I don't know what this blue part went to for, but I think this thing just, so there's a hole down there, and this says you turn it. All right, here's tool test accomplished. So as you turn this thing, this goes either down that way. Oh my gosh, I don't know. Or that way. I don't know how many. I can't get my finger in there. So there's down, and maybe not down. I don't know. But as you turn this, it affects like what happens with the other jets. This thing will fly out, and it shouldn't. So, two things. One, I have a tool now to do that. Two, I'm going to put a little dab of this stuff on. Store and use. Do not thin, stir, and shake before use. Jelly like, don't use. Check dry fit. Did that. Okay. Shake it. Again, probably not a great idea. But, oh, yeah, before I use this stuff, let's make sure the entire assembly works. So, I'm gonna do this. That's in, and then that's got to be turned. This has a receiver for that, so that would go in like that. Turn this way, turn this way, so it's good. Now this has some broken pieces. That's the next thing I have to solve. Let's just do one thing at a time here though. Okay, all right, so that works exactly how it should. Do this very quickly. A little dab here, dab there, and then we're just gonna go ahead and put this in. Okay, tighten there. The next thing I need to solve, see right here, I'm sorry, right here, there's a lip. And that lip is what retains this part here. You can see maybe you can see on this one, I don't know if you can see anything, but there's a tab that just holds in there. And what that does is that goes against this and prevents this from coming out. That broke and that broke, so I need to figure that out. But I also want to, let's see, how's that? Make sure the piece that I have in there moves back and forth, which it does. But see, this will come right out because there's nothing retaining it in there. And all it is that little lip right there, because it's right at the edge. So there's just a little lip here. So I just need something that pops out here that once it goes in, it kind of presses in and it retains it inside of there. So that'll be the next thing I need fixed. I'm actually making sure I turn this all the way to the right. So if it is hitting on something in there. Okay, so went around. This is the first thing that I thought of. Kind of gone around, thought of different ideas, but I think it'll work. I think. So this is stainless rod, stainless welding rod actually, so it means I can form it. See? Okay, I can form it. And I could have it go in here, not stick out like this, right? We don't want to do that. But we want a piece to stick in here. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is bend it so that it's got a hump on this side and a hump on that side. And it's got a ring here. And that ring will squeeze and then release. In theory. And in theory that'll hold it. And then if I need to get it back off, I could just go in there with like a screwdriver and pry it down. I don't know. You got a better idea? Okay. I'm just going to try to do this with tools. I have fancy tools and benders and things, but I'm going to try to do it this way. And this sort of thing. Yes, it does. See? Sticks down. Obviously it's going to go inside of there, but you know, one thing at a time here, one thing at a time. So. I might have to make it a little bit. But you can see it's working sort of how it's supposed to. Except for it's not sticking up high enough. So I need to make it bigger. Okay. There's a screwdriver when you need it. Okay, so that's doing the thing. It just needs a tweak or two. So let's do. So what we're doing is we're making this stick out more. Okay, so this is touching, which is reducing that impact. So that needs to be tweaked. do that. That's definitely sticking out far enough. There we go. That one is. That one's not. Oh, what happened here? Oh. It's causing that not to. So I have a couple options. One is fix this down here. Curve it so it goes on the outside of that. Screwdriver. Oh, let's test our theory out. That gives me out of the groove. There we go. Pops that off. Boom. So, yep. Serviceable. Pretty? No. Not pretty. Remember, that wasn't the goal here. And let's just make sure this isn't sticking out. I have a grinder. I'm gonna actually hit that just so it's not super sharp. I'll just do that real quick. Okay. All right. I just tried a little bit of a turn. I don't want to crack it, obviously, and it did not turn. So let's say that stuff's set, and we'll put this back in here. That actually works better than what was there, in my opinion. Let's see. I have to do it this way. Wow, the way that snaps in is better than the stuff that was there. We've improved it, except for the pretty part. I don't know why that one's so loose, but I don't think it matters. Yeah. I mean, it's got a little bit of play, but shouldn't matter. Okay. So, water. As soon as this thing fills up, I'll turn it on, and we should be good to go for a while. This cover, my plan was to unzip this, pull out the foam that was in there, let it dry out, water barrier it. Can't think of it. I think that's right. Water barrier it. Once it's already dry, put it back in and just reuse it. Because I know you can do that, but this cover is so beat up. It's got things missing and all that. I went to unzip and the zipper broke. Not shocking. So if I were to get this open, chances are pretty good that I'd make matters worse and never be able to put something back in there. It's better to have this cover as it is and then use that underneath it, at least for now, just to pick up the debris and to help it kind of seal, to help keep it kind of clean. So still have to figure out cover, cost-effective way to cover. I might hit this from a different angle, I don't know, but for now we're going to use it with that and this, and it's just, you know, 100 pounds, so fine. Oh my gosh. That is a very heavy top. You can see it's all screwed up. I didn't want to spend $500 on a new top, so I bought this thing for $50. It's an inflatable. It's for like those portable hot tub type scenarios. It's got a handle on it, but my thought is I put this on underneath. Less humidity will get in here and break this apart. Also, the debris from this will fall on this. I don't know. Seems like it might have worked. What do I want to see? Okay, the water level seems okay. And we're at, yeah, hard to see. Another thing that I had to fix. But I'm not gonna, there's nothing I can really do with that, I don't think. But it says 99. I wasn't sure if the heater was working. But I forgot how long it takes to get up to temperatures like 4 degrees per hour. So, yeah, heater still works, so that's good. And the hot tub is, let's see, jets. Okay, we have jets. So, she's working. So that means now I can invest in a filter and probably get a mineral filtration thingamajig instead of using like a bunch of chlorine, that kind of stuff. I like the mineral stuff. It's a little bit better. Well, not, I shouldn't say better. It's just less chemical. So now that I know that the motor works and the heater works, but yeah, I think that works. I think this works. This works on the motor. So the motor was like a little over 200 bucks. It was interesting. My father-in-law was over yesterday and mentioned he bought one for his pool, and it's the same thing, same concept. And he spent like 500 bucks. So anyway, I was able to find one on Amazon that met the requirements. It was cheap. It will do that. 50 bucks for that. So I have $300, and replacing that would have been over 500. So pretty sure I'm money ahead at this point. It's a little bit more to do. That thing's really heavy. I want to lay that out and let that really dry out because I think it's just all waterlogged. But having this here and throwing that on top kind of allows me to have that work. The only thing that might be an issue, because that doesn't connect into here anymore, would be like high winds, but I don't think it'd blow off. I don't think it would. So anyway, that's what's going on here. Everything seems to be working. Thanks for watching.